Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I just wanted to hop on here. I just have like a couple thoughts floating around in my mind, just given everything that has happened recently on YouTube. And yeah, I don't know, I've just been having some reflections on it. So if you don't know already, there has been a lot going on in regards to Dramageddon from last year and Shane Dawson and Jeffree Star and just like a lot of stuff coming out about them. And as I'm filming this, Shane has come out with his apology video. I don't want to comment on that. I might get into it a little bit later, but I don't have a my hot take on it is that it's not my place to accept that apology. So, because I was not someone who could have been offended by what he did, so it's not my place to accept that apology, and it's not my place to speak on that. Yeah, given that racism is wrong, Black Lives Matter, all of that, yeah, just honestly be a good person. That's not what this video is about, but please donate, please sign some petitions for Black Lives Matter. Anyways, how did I want to start this? Oh, so I think I'm going to title this video something about like coming of age with YouTube, coming of age watching YouTube, something of that realm. But basically, I, from more of my earlier memories, I know where I would consider myself conscious enough to make rational decisions. I watched YouTube and I watched different YouTubers and, enjoyed them, was influenced by them. Specifically, I remember I was really invested in these YouTubers. Their names were Nick Laws and Matthew Lush, and I know Matthew is very problematic now. I don't remember if he was then. I haven't looked back at his videos. But yeah, it's been like a gazillion years since I've watched either of. I don't even think Nick makes videos anymore. But yeah, they were in a relationship. It was very entertaining. I was very invested. I remember when they broke up, I was a sophomore in high school, and I remember being like heartbroken because I was so invested into their relationship. So yeah, like I was really involved. At the same time, I watched this YouTuber, I think definitely starting sophomore year as well. His name was Angel Moreno. He doesn't make videos anymore. He's like off doing his own thing, having an editing business. Good for him. Props to him. And yeah, he was definitely the first gay role model that I would consider myself to have had. I really didn't, before finding his channel, I really didn't feel like I had someone that I could turn to, which of course it was virtual. Like, there's no way to turn to someone like for real. But you know what I mean. Like, have an outlet that you could go to, have a person that you could relate to, who just had similar experiences to you. And he was definitely the first person that I had that connection with. And I do, to this day, I credit him with why I came out when I did and why I came out early. And that is something I will always be grateful for. I remember I was very, I don't want to say heartbroken, but, just a little upset when he did stop making content. And it's not like he had a full announcement about it, it just kind of happened, it kind of petered off. And that's okay because, like, people got to live their lives and pursue their passions. And if like making videos isn't something that brings you joy, I don't see the purpose in continuing to do it. And that's okay, you know, it's fine. And yeah, I guess moving from that, I, and why this whole cultural moment that we're having right now in regards to the YouTube community is making me think of this is just because it's this conversation of when we see our heroes fall. And I want to preface this by saying I wasn't like that huge of a Shane fan like, I don't think I ever watched one of his videos until college, and even then, like, it was the videos that, like, he did like a Queen Mary series. He did a video where he went to Kathy Griffin's house and like had a conversation about her whole cancel culture moment. And like, I was really I remember binging these videos my freshman year and really enjoying them and not really knowing anything about his past, which that in and of itself is a lesson to really research the people that you're looking up to, because if that was something that I had known from the get-go, like of his past of having racist videos, that's not something I would have subscribed to and watched for a couple of years. And in that same vein, I near the end of my senior year, I got invested in watching Trisha Paytas. And now she is someone who is definitely problematic. Um, and I always viewed it as I was watching, videos that were just a way to pass the time and not like taking it seriously in any way, and looking at the offensive content that she would put out and just laughing at it, you know, laughing at her for doing that, which is not the best because at the end of the day, it is still giving your view, it is still giving your AdSense. But that is a way that I rationalized it in my head. The other thing was that I was very lonely throughout college, but especially my first year. I really did not have a lot of friends, and my roommate and I did not get along at all. So there were a lot of times where I would have lunch just by myself. And Trisha, during that time, would do her little eating shows. It wasn't necessarily a full mukbang, it was just like her grabbing lunch. And, I would have lunch with her every day. And that sounds really depressing, but I viewed it as a way to, make sure that I had a sense of normalcy in my day and a sense of connection to people. And, over the years, because I wasn't there when she was trolling, which was like in 2013, 2014, 2015, but especially when she started up, she's had a couple scandals. It's hard to like think of them. Definitely like with the DID thing though. Like that's like I never could bring myself to watch those videos, nor should I have wanted to, and I didn't. Like that's why I didn't watch them. Um, just because it's so problematic, so offensive. Oh my god, especially her claiming to be transgender. That in and of itself is also so problematic, and it's so difficult to sit here and watch creators that you have either grown up with or had a very strong connection with or just felt like were your virtual friends. When you see them do problematic things and when you see them engage with the world in a way that is very harmful to others, it is a lot to have to work through because it's like you have this connection with them, and then for them to do this, it's a reminder that we can't rely on people on the internet to be a source of friendship, which is not how I viewed it, but I do know there are people that view certain creators this way, and it's disappointing, but we do need to hold them accountable. I have unfollowed quite a few creators that I used to enjoy in the past for that very reason because, at the time, there was a purpose for them to be in my life, but even then, once it gets to the point where are doing problematic things, or you find out that people are doing problematic things, you have to cut that off. Part of that is the education thing. You know, if you don't, it's hard to think like, oh, I found this new person. Oh, let me go research on them. You know, that is difficult. But what's easy is when you do learn about these people or when you learn about their past, you have to hold them accountable by holding yourself accountable and not continuing to support them. And I think that's what's difficult with cancel culture is because the people who quote unquote can't participate in what is considered toxic cancel culture, are people who would always do it. It's never the true fans. And so no one is learning anything from this. And I think that's like, I do think cancel culture is a good thing. I don't think the people who need to learn about what's problematic, about what's racist, about what's sexist, ever learn. It's always the people who are already woke who find out about this past of their favorite creators that participate in cancel culture. And it's because they're already educated. So I think it's important because it takes away that platform a bit. It takes away that influence that the creator has. But at the same time, we need to have conversations with the fans who don't cancel them because, no one's learning. No one's learning. And I think part of this is that the creator needs to learn and grow from it. But a lot of it is that their fans who've supported them through the problematic content that they've put out also need to learn and grow from it. I've been reading this book called White Fragility by Robin DiAngelo. I think that's her name. And it's written, she's a white woman and she's taught her audience, what she says right from the get-go is white people. And she talks about how white people have a hard time talking about racism. And the term she coins is white fragility because acknowledging racism beyond more than just like, what we saw in the history books of like slave owners or protesters in the 60s yelling at Black people for starting school at integrated schools. It's not that sort of racism. It's the racism that we engage with every day. So the microaggressions, the claiming to be colorblind, all of that sort of stuff. It's so hard for white people specifically, but this could be applied to any other context that you name that involves bigotry, to admit that they've participated in this and they've been not necessarily even been complacent, which that is its own problem, but have actively participated in it, rather just with their own biases and with their own prejudices. And, we need to hold ourselves accountable as well as our creators. Is it disappointing to see your favorite creator fall? Of course. Is it disappointing to learn that your favorite creator was problematic? Of course. But we can't continue to condone this behavior because it doesn't lead to anything positive. And it only continues to harm those who are harmed by the actions of the creator, which is very surface level. Definitely read her book because it's good. But it's hard when we can't all even agree on a consensus to do the surface level thing, which is holding people accountable, holding ourselves accountable, and educating ourselves. Yeah, with this specific cultural moment, I don't know what's going to come out of it. I mean, I have my personal hopes for it. Again, like I said at the beginning, I don't think my opinion matters because I was not the target of the content put out by several of these creators. And so I don't think my opinion doesn't matter, and I cannot accept their apology, regardless of if I wanted to or not. And so, yeah, I just want to leave you with hold yourself accountable, hold your content creators accountable, and be willing to change your opinion when you gain new information and when you become more educated, because it is much better to admit you were wrong than to pretend like the problem doesn't exist, or that you couldn't ever do it, or that you couldn't ever participate in it, because that only perpetuates harm. Rather than putting up this defense field, just admit that you were wrong and move forward knowing that you won't engage in this or support this or anything going forward. Thank you so much for watching. And yeah, just have a great day. Stay safe, stay healthy, stay happy. Black Lives Matter. And yeah, I'll see you later. Bye.